1, 2, 3, 4. What is happening, everybody? Welcome to the Mudblood podcast this week. We are in a different location, as you can tell. We are in HQ of our main sponsor, That Praise Guy. Not the Praise Guy, not the Praise Guy, That Praise Guy. And when I say that every week, I'm with nobody to point to, but That Praise Guy sitting next to us. And you know what? It's coming up. There's going to be the 10th millionaire. That's the type of prizes we're talking about here. We've talked about it. It's cars, holidays, instant wins. And when you sign up, there's actually free ones. There's free competitions on the page. Daily prizes. Check it out. Get on the website. That Praise Guy. Get yourselves involved. We're involved. Everyone's involved. Everybody loves That Praise Guy. And you can do it too. And you know what? Because he's a mate of the podcast and a sponsor, he's given us a code. Mudblood10. Gets you 10% off. Do you know how much that is? 10%, Paul. 10%. That means if you spend £1, you get 10p off. If you spend £100, you get £10 off. That's the way it works. Get involved. Get yourself on That Praise Guy. So, yes, folks, that's it out of the road anyway. Welcome to this week's podcast with myself. William Thompson is disappeared. He's away to Edinburgh. And who's beside me? Who's on the podcast this week? It's the one and only Mr. Paul Harkin, That Praise Guy. What about you, Booker?
What an intro.
You're all good.
Yeah, there you go. Absolute hype man. Love it. Yes, mate,
Wait, hype man or wing man? I don't know which one I'm better at.
Well,
We'll have to work out the other
we'll
one.
see. But no, good intro, mate. Love it. Happy to be here. So thanks for coming down.
No, mate, thank you for having us down. It's always class. For anybody that hasn't been, you'll probably just see videos of the place down here, but it is absolutely class. In here, it's like Aladdin's cave. It's just brilliant. All
You
the
remember
stuff.
you were in the old office?
The old office, yeah.
Which was good too, but this place is just up a wee level, so it's good.
It's beautiful. It's really nice. I'm actually thinking about moving just here, do the podcast every week. And people go, "What do you mean?" I might have to get a visa to come to Bangor, but I'll definitely would consider it. If you would have us.
I said to Darrell when I came in, it's like a bad guy in a film.
It
Like
is,
Secret Lair.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
class because you don't even see it from the outside. People come up, where are you, or where is it? Hidden away.
He sent me a picture, says, I don't know if I'm in the right spot. Is it here? I went, it doesn't look like that, but let me tell you something. It will not have a massive We Are the Praise Guy in here.
Do you know what's mad? So my accountant was down a couple of weeks ago and I was in a meeting. None of the boys were here. And obviously from the boardroom at the back, I can see that front door. And I looked and there was an old fella standing at the door trying to get in. I was like, who the fuck's this? So I went up. And if anybody that I don't know comes to that door, I'll just open it slightly because everybody feels like they can just walk in and be like, well, what's happening? This old man standing there, he's like, standing with his phone in his hand. He's like, Prize Guy? He says, yeah. He says, how do I enter these competitions? I says, mate, I says, where the fuck did you get this address? I says, we don't have this address online. So he can work out, he's fucking been able to find us somewhere online, but can't work out how to enter one of the competitions. So I says, give us your phone. I spent about 300 quid entering the competitions. I says, that's you entered. I says, your card details are saved anytime. This is how you do it. He says, and I fucking beat it. Mad.
You're going to wake up one morning, he's going to be at the bottom of your bed.
I don't know.
He's like Liam Neeson.
Mate, honestly, I
That
don't
would
know.
have freaked me out.
Don't know how he's found this, but it's happened a few times when people come out. There's people that come up and be like, oh, doing this charity event. And I'm like, how do you know we're here?
Yeah.
Everybody knows. So it's the worst kept secret.
Yeah, it's one of them ones one person has been here and then they'll tell everybody. It has to be like a competition winner. Do you know what I mean? And they're like, well, where is it? Where is it? Tell us the whole experience. Well, see, you go down here and it's there and it's fucking that. For anybody who doesn't know where it is, it's Connolly House in the Anderson stand. Send them. So it's a Sinn Féin shop in the Falls Road. It's a UDA centre over in East Belfast. Just send them to all the mob places where they won't turn up. But listen, no, it's class for having you on because our podcast is one of them podcasts. It is that working class one that people watch and people will be intrigued to know, like, who is he? Where is he from? It's the usual crap, like, do you know what I mean? And then you can only have to say bits and pieces, but, like, where are you from, Paul?
From Bangor.
You're from Bangor?
Bangor, born and bred, yeah. Lived in Bangor all my life and then lived in Australia for 3 years, come back, lived in Liverpool for 3 years and I'm here, so.
And where did the whole competition thing come from? Like,
so whenever I was when I come back from Australia, obviously as you know, my daughter's from Australia. I was living there. She still lives there. When I come back from Australia, went back to university to try to find myself and to put myself in a position where I could just be in a better place, whether I be working here or having the ability to have a job that allowed me to travel at the time. So I studied international business. But while I was studying, I was living here, but studying in Liverpool. Lived in Liverpool for the 2 years. Final year, I was moving back and forth. The final year, I was living here, working in a O2 shop. But it was a franchise O2 shop. So the family that owned it were from Dungannon. They'd sent me on a training course one day down to Dungannon. And there was a fella doing the course. His brother is Mark Weir, who owns Arkings. So they were up and running before I was doing it. And I was like, they were doing all the cars and stuff that they did. And I was like, fuck, I could do something like that. So my sister was working in the travel agents. My idea behind it was everybody wants like a dream holiday, but not everybody can afford it. So that alongside, do you remember the cash call used to be every day?
Yeah.
Everybody was coming into the O2 shop. My fucking phone bill's really high. Cash call was like 150 a text or something like that. But they were doing it every day. Most people were spending the £3 a day or whatever it was every day, 5 days a week, trying to enter a cash call. And I was like, fuck, everybody wants to win something for nothing. So then I'd done a wee bit of research and just thought, fuck it. Didn't have a business plan or anything, just said to one of my mates, I actually put something up on my Instagram, I think, saying, does anybody know a website designer? A fella I went to school with, his wee brother, who I knew as well, he taught himself web design when he was on the brew. He taught himself web design through YouTube. He's fucking loaded now, like. Yes, Ryan.
I love them stories, but
But you know what, mate? We went down to Ground Coffee one day and sat and worked out how I wanted the website to look. Now, I don't know if you were on the website in the very early stages. The logo and all was different. The whole layout was different. It was built for purpose. Like even with like, see the ticket numbers, whenever the first draws for the first couple of months, maybe we'd done this. It might have been longer. It was like the first year near enough. The numbers on the spreadsheet, you didn't get your number until the draw was finished. And I had to fucking manually input numbers for like randomized numbers for everybody that entered. Now you're not talking, you know, you could have been a couple hundred then to what it is now. Obviously some of them are fucking millions in them, but yeah, the whole process was completely different, but my process has remained the same in terms of how I look at it and approach it. It's just on a bigger scale now. So that's how it started. First few prizes.
What was the first prize?
First prize we done was, there was one free giveaway to try to get a following on the Facebook and Instagram page, which was a trip to Prague. A friend of mine won it. Like most at the start, anybody from Bangor was winning because
it's who
where
was
I'm from,
supporting
you know
it.
what I
Yeah.
mean? So
You were doing it off your socials.
yeah, so it's me. It was like everybody from Bangor knew it was me until it started growing. Obviously, I knew that it would take time where more prizes, more people winning, therefore more people talking about it. So first prize, free giveaway to Prague, and then there was a trip to Galgorm and a trip to Venice. Now the fella that won the Venice trip, so these would have been won in November time. He didn't get to go because then the following, when was the start of COVID? After Christmas, wasn't it?
March.
Aye. So then he'd booked it to go in March and then never got to go because that's when everything, the first lockdown happened. But yeah, so that was the first month. Second month was like TVs, AirPods. Didn't do cash prizes at the time because the cash prizes wasn't the direction that I wanted to go. Things were flying right up until that first lockdown. And I mean, there wasn't a fucking penny spent. See those first 3 weeks or 4 weeks of lockdown? Until people remember, you were only getting about 70%.
People didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, but I think you only get 70% or 80% of your wage. So people didn't know what disposable income that they had. But once people realised, fuck, I've got all this money to spend, can't go out and spend, and I can't do anything. So then I started tweaking the prizes that I was doing, like hot tubs. I mean, I was up at fucking every B&M bargains that you can imagine, like waiting for these hot tubs coming in. Stacking that wee red Astra, and it was fucking stacked out with anything that you couldn't get easily. Hot tubs, PlayStations, Dyson Airwraps, anything that people could use in their house. See, garden furniture. I rinsed all the garden furniture, B&M,
So it
home
was your
base.
fault.
Everywhere.
I couldn't get a chair anywhere.
Yeah, but I had it all. Like all the egg chairs, because it's what people were spending. They can't leave their house, so they're just keeping their house out with the best of shit.
Plus
like,
the weather was
banging.
I don't know if you remember this.
Mate, I do. I was my missus, I was living in her apartment. We sat in her balcony. Remember they used to do the cocktail deliveries? There's one in Belfast because the cocktail keg company. There's Love and Death done one as well. And maybe we used to get them delivered on fucking Wednesday mornings.
Ringing your mom going, where are you? Come back.
So I remember blister, and
great.
it hit her balcony all day. So these were the sort of prizes I was doing. Even that, like Ray-Ban prizes and all. Like, who wants sunglasses to sit in their fucking house? But that's all we could do. So then it sort of spiraled. Then I did do my first cash prize. First cash prize was £1,000. And And I remember that doing that. I was living in a house in Liverpool for that draw. And I remember thinking, fuck, I'm shite myself here for £1,000. I think it was 500 tickets or something. 400. It was 400 tickets to fiver. And I remember thinking, fuck, this is big money, like £1,000. And never then, it was like every big prize would have went up in stages. So it went at like 1,000, then to 2, then to 3, 5, then to 10. Then even from that right up to 100. And I was like, right, I'm not doing the 110s, 120s. It was like 100, 150,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400, then the 5. Did I do it? I think I'd done a 7.5 and then jumped straight to a million after the million. Now we've done 9 of them. As you said, we're now on to the 10th one. It sort of not fizzled out, but I think people were too used to it. And then the ticket price as well. I think once we dropped the price, once people bought tickets for £1 million before and they've bought it for £1, when you do the million again at a fiver, they don't want to pay a fiver. So our job is quite a psychological thing where you're sort of trying to gauge people's perception or think about how other people think. Now I've realised the big money prizes, the price has to be cheap because they'll want to buy more tickets for it. I would prefer that those big money prizes were way less tickets, giving better odds for it. But at the same time, people are entering these competitions every day. So, buying a ticket for a fiver when they know that they can go and spend, get 1,000 tickets for for fiver for different prizes. So we're just always having a constant battle. But we've just launched the most recent one. Tickets are less than £2. I think at one stage they're 80p there. I mean, at that 80p price, people will probably buy 10 tickets.
Yeah.
Which I'd more in theory. If there's less tickets in the draw, your odds are better. But people want more chance, therefore having more tickets gives them more chance to do it.
Yeah.
But look, it's huge, and I don't think I ever expected to be at this level that we're at in terms of the prizes, the lives that we've changed. Marky said the other day about he would love to have like a tree where you can see everybody who's benefited and where it's went. Like that family that won the $500,000 on Sunday, Filipino family, but she's lived here for 23 years. She's like, how much money is going to get sent home to people here that she's going to help? She said there was somebody says that they were out for lunch, 14 of them out for lunch celebrating. Like, I don't take it for granted. I just think sometimes I forget the value of what some of these prizes are.
Yeah.
Like even today there's 150 grand on today. That's fucking huge. Like, you know what I mean? That changes somebody's life.
100%.
Like, it's not retirement money, but it's certainly improve your circumstances. Like if you're smart with that sort of money. But even the smaller stuff, 10 grand to just pick up one day randomly is fucking. To the people who are buying these tickets, nobody doesn't need an extra 10 grand or whatever, £1,000. Like it's huge. So there's loads to it, and we benefit massively of like how we're able to help other people outside of it that aren't buying tickets. The charities we support, individuals, any causes that we come across to try to help. That's always been an aspect of what I do. Like even when it was just me, even when I'd started, so I created the page in the October. That Christmas, I'd seen that there were maybe like 6,000 people on the page or something at this stage. It's like that's a platform. So I filled my sister's garage at her house with like used toys and donations. Used the platform to be like, look, I'm gonna try to help people as well. So I spent my Christmas week, I was driving, dropping prizes, like dropping gifts off to people who had nothing, or whether it be food vouchers or stuff for their kids. It was all used stuff at this stage because I didn't have the money to be buying stuff, but I was using the platform to get donations in from people. Now, obviously, every Christmas, not just specific to Christmas, but Christmas is a big one where we do a huge drive. Like last Christmas, I think I spent there 20, 30 grand on different causes, fill the unit with toys, and I know that they're going to go to places. We do stuff that goes behind the scenes that we don't really publicize a lot, but I'm just grateful that I've created this platform where people are also able to help. We have a great prize on the website at the minute with the NI Hospice and the Children's Hospice. The Donnelly Group have donated a car to the hospice for us to use as a prize to raise money for charity. But I've said, look, rather than the car, they were just going to do the car. So look, I'll put a £20,000 cash alternative up. If whoever wins the car wants to take the cash, they can take it. So we have that on the site at the minute now. Huge, two absolutely incredible charities who'll benefit as well. But we can now do stuff like that, and it's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable feeling to be able to help out not just the people who win, but the people outside who also need a bit of help too.
No, and mate, I see it. It's once I met you, obviously it was just a website at the start and a competition page. But when I got to meet you, I'm normally a good judge of character, but I know that not even just with charity. Like I know, like whether it be sports people or people in the industry here, if they reach out to you, you're more than willing to help out. Like I remember that my management company contacted us and put a couple of tickets on for one of my shows just to try and push it on a wee bit, and you were like, no problem
Yeah,
whatsoever.
absolutely.
Like people don't realize, like apart from all the charity work, which you do loads of it, and people don't see the half of it. Like that football tournament we done,
Brilliant.
like the level of what you put into that it wasn't just a sticker on a fucking thing. Like you went above and beyond anybody to do that. And as a group of people, we always tried to give back. And when we got our platform, it's been something Shane would push a lot of us and be like, let's do this. We'll do, and we used to just do like wee gigs in the limelight and then donate the money. And then we started doing the boxing, which was huge.
Yeah.
And we started the boxing nights were huge, and then we do stars and rise. So Shane says that, and you're probably the same. Like people will rap your door or send you messages every day with the handout, and they're in need. We totally get that, but there's only so many people you can help.
Yeah, of course.
There's nobody in the world that can just help every single person. That's just the way life is. And Shane does them as his charity end of it. So he goes, right, well, look, that's what I do, and that's my charity work. And it's massive charity work that we do, and it's really, really good, and we use our platform. You're the exact same. But you help everybody, like not even just, as I say, the charity stuff. And it's great to see, but you'd be very proud. I don't know if you maybe look at this, but like from where we're from, like I'd be proud of the comedy scene that we have here, that everybody wants to come here. But I'd be sitting watching boxing or fighting and or meet somebody from the other side of the world and I go, that praise guy, and they know exactly who you are, and to see you there, like it's mental.
Yeah.
That that you just started something that small.
I don't think I
that-
ever expected it to be like that, and I don't think obviously sometimes I look at it and be like, it's class. I don't think I ever really dwell on it too much. Like I think too much into it. I know that the idea of creating a brand that's that well recognized. I think it's something that not a lot of people will actually get the experience, and I'll never take it for granted or overlook it. But I think it's because it's it hasn't been like an overnight success. The vision, everything has remained the same from day one. So I don't think that's why. Like even with the size of the prizes, I think because everything's went in stages and it's right, okay, right, well, on to the next one or on to the next thing. I think that's why I don't think about it too much.
Yeah.
And I know, and I get a lot of people saying to me, it's unreal. I just don't think I pat myself on the back or like I'm coy about it. I don't know. I love it, and I know that there will come a time where I can sit down and think, fuck, that was unbelievable.
Well, I think that the important thing for anybody when they're building something, and I can tell just by looking at your socials and the way you talk about them, right? It's about leaving your kids something.
Man, this was all, everything, this started, I wouldn't have started this if it wasn't for my daughter. So obviously, I don't know if you know my situation or anything, if I've actually sat and talked to you about it. So my daughter obviously lives in Australia. She'd lived in Australia, her mum's from Australia. The whole purpose of me coming back, I was living a different life in Australia. I was actually in New Zealand. My intention was to be staying there. And then when I'd found out I had a daughter, staying in Australia was never an option because it didn't have a visa. My visa had ended. I had to leave. I was coming home or leaving the country. So then when I'd found out I had a daughter, I was like, fuck, I need to do something here. So I came home. I was actually working in a different O2 store and I was working for a fire safety company and until I could go to uni. But I didn't have the grades to get into uni. I had to get a letter from a principal at my old high school for recommendation. So then I had to go that summer and spend like 6 weeks doing like a refresher course to get me into university to do my degree. I always knew that I would do. Business has always been something. Did I ever in a million years think that this would be it? No, but I've always been obsessed with business. Everything I studied was business based. My interests. I don't really delve too much into other stuff. Like I'm not obsessed with anything else. Like I was with business and learning different things and seeing how businesses work, and I love every aspect of it. So went and studied international business, and she was the reason that I needed to do something, So leaving something for my kids, this was the start of me trying to get into a position. And I always knew that my end goal was, right, I want to be in a position where I can do something for them. even as I progressed on this, like I only bought my own house, my house in October. But my aim was, no matter what happens, if this ends tomorrow, my kids have something. You know what I mean? And that was it. It was always building something for my kids. I'm not money orientated. I've never had ambitions to be extremely wealthy. I want to do well, of course, and be the best that I can be. Same with this business. I want to take it to the highest point that I can take it to. And I say, and she's like, "Oh, do you want to sell it? What the fuck would I want to sell it for?" Like, I will take it as high as I can physically achieve, because I built it from nothing. I don't think there's any ceiling to how far I can take it. I've achieved some amazing things, for the most part, sitting with my best mates in my house. Do you know what I mean? So what more could you ask for?
That's another aspect that I know about in here, is that everyone that's in here with you, like, they're all from your childhood.
Yeah.
And it must be like, just talking to you a couple of times, it's, as you say, it's just knowing that you've changed your mates' lives as well too, you know.
And that's what it got to the point where, like, I didn't have anybody for 3 years. It was all me doing everything. And I could have had a still comfortable life with no stress, but again, it was the ambition that, like, I wanted to keep pushing on and build something special. Brought Neil in first, somebody I trusted and knew he's another version of me, a little bit lazier version of me, like, but he's a version of me. Had him, my sister, who I trust more than anybody. Her and Daryl were the next two in. Again, Daryl's very organised, methodical. He's the key factor with Matty. We all trust each other. Like, if there's an issue, we can address it. We can have the crack. We can slobber at each other. If shit hits the fan, we can get heated. But we know that there's no bad feelings after it. The key is we don't need an HR department. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's no tread on eggshells or anything.
Listen, it's not an easy thing to have friends working for you. I know this because whenever I started, like, my joinery business, and I was like, I'm going to bring such and such in and such and such, and see, bringing in your mates, it's the hardest.
So everybody
thing
warns
ever.
you about it. Like, everybody says, don't hire your mates, but this line of work is so alien. There's no benchmark to go off. You know, there's no handbook.
Yeah.
We just sort of create it. We have had issues, of course, like anything, but on the whole, like, I couldn't change it. We were in this position, and any time I've spoke, it's fucking mad, because any time I've spoke on a podcast about needing extra people, see the messages we get, and I hear you're looking staff, but I don't want more people, because I don't want to upset the dynamic that we have. You know, you bring somebody in who isn't somebody I've known for 20 years, things get complicated, and I like it how it is. So the good thing with them boys is they're all part of it too. I am where I am because I have them beside me.
Yeah.
And they know that, which is, it's amazing. It's just class. But, like, you know, helping your mates become successful too is, that our families not all hang out together. Like, we all do shit together.
Which is go on holiday and all.
Yeah.
No, it's great to see. And anytime I'm down, it sort of feels like going out with your cousin's mates or something, where you feel like, you know, you're not part of the crew, but at the same sense, when you come in, it's like, we are the crew, and here, no, you're sound, that's okay, just join in.
Definitely.
And,
but you've been here, you've been...
Bit of crack, like, do you know
It's
what I
been
mean?
a couple of years since the first time you came down, but even then, when you left, who was here? I think Marky and Daryl were both here when you one of the first times you came down, and they were the same. Like, obviously they know Paddy McDonnell, the comedian.
Yes.
They don't know Paddy McDonnell.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
you.
And they were like, he's just, like, so sound. He just fits in, and it is the same way. That's why, like, it's some of the stuff we've done at that house and all. When your maniac came in, when we done stuff like that, you know, even down at the racetrack with you and Paul and stuff. I feel like I naturally align to people who are similar to us in here, so it's nice to have that. Like,
Do you know, I like people that have done well, because I've spoke about it loads. I don't know if you were the same, probably were, in Bangor, but because a lot of people think Bangor, everybody's well-to-do and stuff like that, and that's not exactly the case. Like, but where we come from, it's like, you just fucking go ahead and do something just in the area, and you don't want to make yourself any better, or you feel like you shouldn't be. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, aye.
And it wasn't until I changed that mindset that I went, fucking no, this isn't the case. This is fucking, there's
opportunity, aye.
everything out there.
Big time.
And we've a terrible thing in this country where we think that about ourselves or something, or we shouldn't. You know, we're we fucking stupid country, and we shouldn't be competing with anybody.
I mean, I look at that, and like I'm subjected to so much shit. You know the crack, like the amount of fucking stories that you'll hear. Oh, sure, the prize guy's done this, as if it's not, as if it's impossible to do well for yourself without doing something that you shouldn't do. You know what I mean? Like it's that mindset, and I laugh it off, and it's something that it's always had. It's been part and parcel. Like I still get it now, where people want to talk shit and make up like any rumor to try to discourage that there's any possibility that anybody from a fucking housing estate in Bangor can do well and
Or done it legit.
Aye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People from up Belfast think we're doing things for people down here, and people down here think we're doing shit for other people around the country.
It's like I got a nice car, right? And it was one of them ones, man. I was like, I don't know. And she went, you've always wanted one. Go and get it. You've worked really hard. And I still get pulled into somewhere and somebody going, fuck, here, should start doing that comedy myself. And I'm like, fucking do it, man. Fucking 100%.
That's the best one.
Listen, I want to do it. But I got out, this was the best one. I got out and there was a van sitting, 4 fellas, right, in the garage. And your mom's obviously trying to be funny. Everybody tries to be funny with a comedian, right? And he was shouting after me in the ear. He goes, oh, I tell you what, you're definitely doing more than what you're doing. You're driving that. And I went, crack dealing, mate. Yeah. And he went, now 2 of them got it straight away. He didn't.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, what? And I went, crack dealing the crack, mate. And he was like, and he looking, and when I was in the garage, I could see out, and the guy on the driver's seat was explaining to him. He's talking about jokes, crack, and he was like, "Oh fuck!" But he thought like I'd cracked the code here, and he's finally admitted that he's doing something else.
But this is the thing, like people like that, they don't see the work that you put in, the shows that you do, the time away from your family, the effort and the graft. People just see part of a product, like it's not even the end product, but that's a part of your success, having that car. Somebody looking at that and having that judgment of, sure, something else that's not right. There's something else happening there. It's the fucking worst, mate. And 99% of the people who are on our social media I don't even need to get into the comments anymore. Yeah. People are just like, fuck up, basically, or they know it's nonsense. Yeah. Somebody wrote a post the other night. I try to take myself a wee bit away. You always said to me, take yourself out, but I never will.
Don't even look at it.
Oh shit, that's gonna go. But I have to. Like, I think it's also part of who we are when I can just dip in, and if somebody's talking shit, then I'll just say, as if you're sitting here saying it to me.
Get
like, you know what I mean? And
I think that's a wee element of working class from here. Like, rap somebody's door and go.
But you have to. I'll tell you a story. So it's a fucking belter. It's about the rumours. So we have this connection with boxing, right? And there's so many people over in England, more so, that because we're involved with sponsoring all the boxing shows, we're associated to gangsters who are from down south. So my mate had sent me his voice note on Sunday, a couple of weeks ago, saying, here, I'm working over in London. There's a contractor here. He's trying to start up a boxing promotion. And I was talking to him about you being at one of the shows, I think it was the AJ Dubois fight that we were at. We'd sponsored it, obviously. So the guy was like, oh, your mate that sponsored that fight, it's not the prize guy, is it? And he says, yeah, no, this is over in London. And he says, I've heard he's associated with such and such gang. And I says, this is my mate, sent me this voice note. And my mate Shane was like, oh, right, okay. So then the next morning I went on my Instagram, my own personal Instagram, in my message request, this fella saying, oh, I'm trying to start a boxing promotion. We have a mutual friend. And I thought, this is this fucking guy who's saying I'm with these things. So I said to the lads about it, I says, I'm going to ring him. I says, no sweat, mate. Let me get a chat with you. She phoned me. He says, oh, look, I know Shane, and I'm going to start a promotion. I would love to have you on board. I don't want anything for it. Just can we use your logo on the canvas and all our media stuff and all the gear? I says, sure, you're the one that was saying to Shane that it's well known that I'm associated with all these gangs and all. He says, oh, it was just what I've heard, I was like, but you said it was fact.
And now
but I was laughing about it, I was saying it.
But now you're wanting something, which is hilarious.
I says, but sure, if I'm associated with these gangs, why would you want to associate with me? He's like, oh, I just know that people talk shit. No, he texts me after, look, I didn't mean any offence. But I was laughing about it because you see people in the comments and all on their posts being like, he's a fucking criminal. Like, I don't even know who these people are. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Get you.
And that is it. Now, I just have to take it with a pinch of salt. But sometimes I just have to be like, I have to
stand up for yourself.
Right. No, and then when you do it, when you stand up for yourself, people are like, well, sure, why you defend yourself if you're not doing anything wrong? What do you want me to do? Sit here and let you throw shit at me?
100%. I totally get it. And I do say, I my missus fucking looks at it and she's like, I can't put up with this. And I'm like, they're not even talking about you. I know, but it's about, but they're not talking about you. It's me. Like it's ridiculous, some of the stuff. Like, there was, the worst one for me was, and this is stupid, but it fucking really rattled my cage, where they made this story up and it was a story. It wasn't even just a comment. So they wrote this story on a platform, and it says, "Never meet your idols," right? Was the title to this story. And the mad thing was, at the start of the story, they didn't even know who the fuck I was. So they were like, I'm standing in a cafe and this guy comes out and goes, "You're such and such comedian." And this guy was like, "Yeah, yeah." And he's like, "You're doing the SSE." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's in such and such a date and all." And this person's like, I didn't know who this guy was. And I had to Google him. And then it turns out, oh, he is a comedian and he is doing the SSE. So he wasn't like lying. So straight away they were like, I'm in a cafe, didn't know who you were. You were telling somebody else who was asking you questions. He seemed like a lovely, cheerful fella and blah, 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 down to earth and whatever. However, this all changed when he swandered back to his car with a swagger, which was a massive blah, 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 with a private number plate, which was overparked 2 disabled fucking spots, right? And it didn't stop there with the swagger. Now, Paul, you remember what I was like last year? I call him fucking walk, right? I was limping, right? I had one crutch in the Carnlough that day that I was there. My daughter was up playing hurling, like, and it was a rainy, terrible, miserable day. See, when I get into the car park, one of the other daddies was there, and because we go to Carnlough from our fucking 1982, the bins were overflowing from the Saturday night, and I was going, fucking stay this place, the fucking bins is overflowing. Then they wrote a whole thing that says, and then he threw his rubbish. Now, I bought a cup of coffee, and that cup of coffee was still in my car 2 days later because I didn't even finish it, right? But they says that I threw my rubbish. So my rubbish, like, it sounded like I took a whole bag of stuff and fucked it into the hedge in Carnlough, which I've been going to from 1980. But that rattled me more than anything else.
I think they said that you were fly tipping or something.
Fly tipping. Well parked in 2 disabled.
I'd fucking well believe it.
You know, but it's, and that one rattled me the most. I'm like, out of everything, because they spent the time to write this full story about you. Like, and I'm like, one, you says never meet your idol, and then 2, it was like, I didn't know who you were.
Yeah.
And then, oh, I Googled you, and then it turned out, but you were a great guy, but then, nah, cunt. And then try and rubbish you. Like, you know, and no, I was going, like, the boys all, it was Shane actually that found it, and he shared it into the group, and all the boys were like, fucking typical McDonald's. You know, everybody having a bit of jest, but it really annoyed me. One, because Carnlough's a place I've been going to from 1982, and there's no way I'd have done any of that. But just somebody spending an hour of their time to fucking do
just
it.
to try to create a perception of you for
So
other
what
people.
was it? Were they standing there having a coffee and just seen that I was doing well and went, fuck him, I'm going to ruin his parade?
I don't get it. I
You
don't
know,
get
and
that,
you're
like-
just, like, how sad are you in your life? You know, and I say to people all the time, come over and say hello. People fucking ask me to do things all the time. Such and such, there's a video for such and such. There's a guy contacted me. This is the mad one that happened to me. This guy contacted me and he says, look, my son was away, blah, blah, blah. They got into a fight. They were away playing football, fucking get stabbed in the face, blah, right? And I was like, Jesus Christ. He sent me the pictures and I was like, where are you? And he was like, we're down in fucking such and such. A notorious loyalist estate, right? I'm like, I'll come down and see him. I'll come down and see him. And he's like, no, you don't have to do that. Just give me a video. And I was like, right, here's this. Just give me a video, right? So I sent him a video anyway. I ended up on a band page with a UV flag. Paddy supports the band and all. And, like, I laughed that one off. But I mean, it was one of them ones where you can go to yourself, fuck, hard things can be taken to the other fucking side. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean?
Like, not that I tread on eggshells. Like, I am just very wary of some of the things. Like, I'll try to do anything for both sides or all sides of every community. I don't align anywhere for that exact reason. Where we had this spell where some of the big prizes were going up west. Oh, sure, fuck's sake, it's all West and all winning.
The West love
You
fucking
know what I mean?
that
And they
prize guy,
fuck, mate, and I know they do. And the thing is, I
fucking hell.
didn't see. I used to work up in that call centre up there years before I went to Australia. I don't really have any attachment to any.
Yes.
I didn't have any like friends or anything from up the West until really I started doing all this stuff, like all the clubs and stuff and all the sports. I just naturally within that side of the community or that area, people were fucking flat out on it. Like, doesn't make anything.
No,
but
no,
people
look,
want to
that's-
create a
that's-
picture.
Does the branding have anything to do with that? Because I remember, years ago, I had like a wee like music community thing, and our whole thing was over going, right, we want to make sure when people say it, they can't say
you
whether
wanna
it's
know-
one side or the
so-
other. So we didn't make sure not to have any blue,
No,
red,
that wasn't
green,
intentional.
orange.
So that's just pure. Everybody associates luxury with gold and stuff like that. Black and gold is perfect. The name itself, because of where we're from, everybody's sure you're wee man or your fella. It was supposed to be the prize guy. The name was supposed to be the prize guy, but somebody already had it. Now the company doesn't exist, but the patent and all the branding and stuff, the trademark had been taken. The URL of the prize guy was gone. But that was the idea where I had in my head, if I'm going to do it, I wanted other people to tell other people. So say, for example, you'd want a car. Where the fuck did you get that? Sure, want it off the prize guy. Not, the prize guy is a person. It wasn't me. It wasn't me for like 3 years. 2.5 years, I wasn't in the videos. But I wanted I wanted the business to feel like that connection between people. Now we have it, like you see our community and stuff. People think of us as the prize guy, not me. Now, obviously, I'll go places. The prize guy. Paul. Paul's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Call me Paul. But
Yeah.
it's just naturally, I used to be like, fuck, I hate it. But it is now just part and parcel of it, and I'll take it, I have a laugh. The other day, I was getting work done in the garden, and the lorry, the guy on the lorry phoned. He's like, there's bridges either side of the access to where we live. He couldn't get under it. He's like, come up with a fucking tape measure to see if we can get us in. Listen, mate, you know the height, and you can see the height in the bridge. If it says that's your restriction, don't go past it. Yeah. But anyway, I had to drive up and see him. And the Ferrari that we had there as a prize was at my house. It was because it was getting collected. So I said, fuck it, I'll just drive up in this. Drove up, and your man's like, watching the Ferrari coming up. I says, is that your runabout? I said, joking about, like I says, aye. He says, and what else have you got? And obviously we've got Lamborghinis and stuff here. He says, a couple of Lamborghinis, just joking, like. And I'm wearing dripped in prize guy stuff. And he's like, what the fuck do you do? I says, 2 prizes. Oh, the prize guy. I says, aye. Picture and all with me. He says, and he said to Marky was with me. He says, are you famous too? And I looked at Marky like, fuck me. And he's like, so I took a picture. He's like, take a picture of me and my Ferrari, me and your man standing as lorry driver. And I'm like, man, I need to be somewhere. And then he sent me a message later. He says, mate, sorry, I was starstruck by you, and I can't. Marky's laughing. He's like, that is the reality. Like, people do know who you are because of it now.
Yeah.
It's class. I do appreciate it. Like,
And it's something that you should be.
no, I am.
We are sponsored this week by our friends at Thompson's Garage, and we are specifically putting out about our show the first Sunday of every month live at Thompson's with myself, 2 other comedians, and a musician. You get your food, it's drink, it's good crack, it's a Sunday. You can be back in the house by 10 o'clock. What else would you be doing? Get involved, check it out live at Thompson's. Myself, 2 other comedians, music, burgers, it's all there. See us all soon. Check it out. Get your tickets.
And see the way you says, there was no blueprint, there was no
nothing.
like stepping some sort of way how you do it. But now so many pages have popped up since.
And I
do you
see
think
them-
you've set the blueprint? Now?
I think the approach of, I'm very much like, take it or leave it. Like, I don't spend on advertising. We put prizes out. If you want to enter, enter. If you like us, you like us. If you don't, that's life. Like, so I see there was companies, our Kings, Mark Weir has done very well in how they do things. I think our approach was completely different in terms of we were just being real. I think a lot more pages that have started do copy that, and they put their own spin on it. You'll see a lot more of them putting their pictures up of themselves a lot more, whereas we don't do that. You know, that's not who we are. But using, rather than them being a business, I definitely think we've set some sort of a foundation on how to be. We don't do things how anybody else does them. People can try
It's
to copy us.
flattery whenever people copy.
Definitely. And like, look, it's a big world, and there's everybody can eat. Like, and I hate, there is loads. There's one specific one up in Londonderry, and like blatantly they changed their logo to look like our logo. And the guy will fucking know watching this. I messaged you and you didn't reply.
That's a door wrapping moment here.
I messaged
call
twice.
out.
I actually commented twice on one of their posts and deleted the comments because I can't fucking let it sit. And I sent it to the lads. Like, they went in, copied prizes that we done, ticket amounts, like amount of prizes and stuff. And I'm just like, have a wee bit of initiative. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yeah.
And I get it. Like, I'm not gonna say I didn't come up with this idea. Our Kings, McKinney's, they were the two. There's 7 days over in England. I shouldn't be giving you this fucking free advertisement, but like they all done things their own way. I liked what they were doing and put my own spin on it. It could have not worked, as you say. Like people saying, "Oh, you know, I should get into that." Fucking by all means, try it. Like it's not.
It's not that easy to do.
I'm 6 years deep, and
Yeah.
I am where I am through my own thoughts and hard work. And I have been inspired by other people doing things. But yeah, we do see it. We see it a lot now that people try to copy what we do. It is what it is. They'll not surpass us. We'll just keep trucking and keep being the best. Like
That's it. I think that's just the threshold for yourself.
Yeah.
It's just trying to keep ahead and just keeping doing what you're doing. And obviously what you're doing is working. I get messages every week. My manager gets messages every week, competition pages,
oh wow.
wanting me to do stuff with them. And I'm like, I really do stuff
Yeah.
with the praise guy.
Oh,
That's just it. And they're like, and this one recently, it's really fucking threw me, right? So they were like, they're going to do a praise and you're going to take 90% of the profit. And I'm like, how does that even work?
Yeah, but this is it. People know, like you say about like you know my association with or helping out, not just charities, but working with people from here. I do because I didn't do it with thinking, fuck, I can bounce off their following. Like we have a
Just because you're normal fellas and you're trying to help people.
We want to do it, but we then see that as well. People diving in to try to sponsor stuff that we sponsor or contacting people that we work with because they feel that they'll get
That gives them the connection.
yeah. Whereas, you know, I work with people who I want to work with. There's a million different avenues that we could go down. We get contacted, we get asked loads. Our brand now, we are at this position where your man, for example, that boxing, people want our brand there because it solidifies, it gives them credibility, you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fighters, big Paddy, he'd said to me, he was like, now if a fighter is sponsored by you, it almost puts them on a level of recognition because, you know, we don't sponsor everybody.
Yeah.
I want to back people who are going to do well. I also back people. Sometimes people might not do well, but I want to help support them.
Is you talking about me? I didn't get beat. I did get beat. I actually did get
God.
beat. I did get beat.
I think
beat
don't
us
worry.
out.
I have other fighters underneath there that have worse records that are still there. So,
But it's like, you know, when you were a kid, I remember when I was a kid, I made my mum and dad buy me a tracksuit because it had Marlboro on it. And it was red and white. It was Formula
did you
1.
see that football top that I bought? The Turtles one?
No.
Do you not see my Instagram yesterday? Maybe it's a fucking builder. It came yesterday. It's not out there.
But it's bronze, like. Oh, it's class.
How good's that, man?
Real Bettis, that's class.
Isn't it? The fucking
It is
Turtles.
real Bettis, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Is that on their top or is
Yeah,
it just...
so it was from whenever the film, when a turtle film came out in the 90s, they were doing that for advertising. There's another one for like Super Mario and Street Fighter 2. It's class.
He said about the car, right? Like, and see in fairness, like he's always been car nuts, right? So like that was his thing, and like him getting that is because, like, that's what he's always
yeah.
wanted. You know what I mean?
Somebody bought me a silver 928 Porsche remote control, and I mean, it was one with the wire. This is like the early 80s. And I was obsessed with Porsches from it. Like, just fucking obsessed with it. So I always says, I'll have a BMW by the time I'm 21, and I'll have a Porsche by the time I'm 30.
Yeah.
Took me till I was 43 to get the Porsche.
You got there?
But what's some of your things that you're like, right? I'm spending this money on myself. I want to get myself like this.
I think he's right. He says he's not materialistic.
I've never been materialistic, mate. I've never been somebody who's obsessed with or like fascinated with cars or watches or holidays. My aim was what I was obsessed with most is success.
Business.
Like, and that success isn't. I don't mean like financial success. Like just building something from the ground up and everybody knowing what it is. I'm very fortunate that this job has subjected me to see if you actually speak to some of the lads that I hang about with. I'm very much like, right, okay, I've done it. What's next? So when we were I was talking again to Paddy, and he was joking about when we were in Dubai. He says he'd come off. I'd hired a yacht out. I took them all to Dubai. Someone flew out business class, hotels and stuff, unreal hotel. We were going out to Paul Hughes fight. So I'd hired a yacht the day before the fight. Yacht, jet skis. It wasn't even real. There's no drinking or fuck all, a couple of beers along it. But as soon as I'm off the yacht, I'm like, right, on the next thing. But Paddy was like, he's just had the best day of his life. what I love is being able to do that with people,
It's
share.
experiences.
Yeah,
It's experiences.
Like that. That's like
That's your thing.
sharing the best days, best times with people, or me being the one that's made it possible. Not just from a prize perspective, but like I could sit with a face on me like a slap doors around, surrounded by all my best mates and family, and if they're having a good time because of something I've done, that's enough for me.
You're happy.
Yeah, fucking right.
And do you know the measure of people? I know people that have kids, right, and they live in the next street to them, and they've never even said hello to them.
Yeah.
And I mean that, like they have kids and they wouldn't acknowledge them, and it really it affects me that I know them and they've done this, right. And I was talking to you, and you were telling me what you had to do to go and get your wee girl, and I was like, that to me tells me a lot about Paul. Just the fact that you would get on a plane and fly her home, and then get on a plane and fly back again, and it's not fucking easy.
No,
Like we were
fuck.
talking about it. I went to Australia, and I told you getting there. I was like, I flew to London and got a 16-hour flight straight there, and then, and I'm just going to myself, like that's a measure of somebody. I mean, your daughter's in Australia. You could have just
So on that, because I haven't told you the full story, there was so Koa's mum, we weren't together or anything. She had a boyfriend at the time, and I didn't know. There was part we had to do like a DNA test and stuff when I was leaving, and there was parts the people I trusted the most were like, say fuck all, say nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I can't imagine a child being here and me not. I don't need to be on the other side of the world to be a dad. Like, it's difficult. The relationship we have is difficult, and I hate it because I miss her and I want to be there, but I'm still there as much as I can be without being there. And that's always been the case. The hardest part was lockdown, where I didn't see her for 2.5 years. But any opportunity that I can go and see her, now my sister, you said about it being hard, I'm very lucky that my sister is currently bringing her home now. Obviously, because so I was in Australia, I went to visit her, and then came back. But I don't want to go long periods of time without seeing her. So, my sister understands that I'm fucking really busy here, and I'm responsible for a lot that happens here. And because it was a last minute decision, my sister was like, "I'll go." So I pay for it all, pay for them to travel comfortably, and without even second guessing it, my sister is now doing what I done straight away. She went and picked her up, stayed 8 hours straight on back again, and then she's doing it to bring her
that's
home.
good too, because your sister has to have a relationship with her too.
Mate,
do you know
my
what I mean?
sister and her, they have. My sister's got 2 boys
Yeah.
who are grown up.
So shit, this is
You
her.
know,
Yeah.
so and she's unbelievable, mate. I'd be lost without her, to be honest. So they have such a great relationship, and I'm just lucky to have her. But
I think these are the wee human bits that people don't see when they see the badge.
Yeah,
you know what I
fucking
mean?
right,
And
man. It's very
there's
easy.
a real person behind the badge and a real life, and not by any stretch of imagination. You know, people go, "Oh, he has some life."
Oh, mate,
They
nobody
don't see
knows,
them.
like, they can
Nobody sees them wee fucking few months that
Yeah.
you have where you don't see your daughter, and so there is things in the people's lives that people don't understand, and
It's
but
funny
fair
'cause
play to you.
I said to her when I was over in Australia there, the last time I was over, I said to her, just joking about, because she just loves dancing and singing and acting. I said, sure, you can come over. You can come over here and take over my business when I'm old. She says, no. Now, she's only 9 years. She was 8 when she says, no. She's like, I'm kind of concentrating on my singing career right now. And I was like, right, all right. You know what I mean? She has a laugh. And she has no idea, mate. She can't, it's not like you can explain this job to anybody,
Yes.
you know.
Get you.
But she's amazing. The journey, so she's flying back now. Travel, so Belfast to Dublin on that flight. Then when she gets off in Sydney, 8-hour train back to house. And she's 9 years old. She'll have done levels of traveling that people fucking 50 years old have never done before, and she doesn't second guess it. But all my mates and my family make her time here so special. So it's amazing. I am blessed to have the people around me that I have, like, definitely.
Absolutely brilliant, mate. And
Liam, where's it? You're driven by ambition and making things bigger. What's the next plans for the business?
We had this difficult period there for a couple of months where things needed to change, and I think we got so used to doing big fucking prizes every single day. But then there's some days where you're chasing your tail, and I think we've just streamlined. So the last sort of 6 or 8 weeks have been us trying to streamline it to how it was before without overdoing it. So rather than having a month where there's like 9 or 10 big prizes, the focus is back on the way it used to be. So when I first started, when I was doing one big prize, it was the big prize at the end of the month. That's how it was. So we should go back to that, where you're not building up every day a 60, a 70, a 90, a 150, like lesser prizes, but consistency. So now that that's streamlined, I said to the lads, my aim for me specifically is I take myself out a little bit. I'll still be here and hands-on and in it, but I want to now focus on other ways that I can drive the business and develop it. So I'm working with a company in Dubai, and they want me to start there, but not as a prize guy. They're looking for somebody who can help them set up properly. They're the only ones who have the license to be able to do it. So things like that, I want to be able to go in and be like, right, well, what else can I do? Like, I don't, but the other side of it is, I also want time with my family like that. You know, I don't.
You don't want to be that busy where
Like,
you're
I'm in
lost
control.
now.
I'm in control of my own pathway, my own day-to-day life. Like, if I overrun myself, I am ambitious and I want to do fucking everything. I want so many different businesses, but I'm ADHD, where one day I'll be like, I'd love to open a fucking soft play. I'd love to open this. I'd love to be doing that. My aim is that I know I'm capable of achieving a lot of stuff, but it's not just this. So there's other elements, there's other things that I want to consider doing, but there's other aspects of this business that I want to fine tune and set up. You know, having an app developed, having online games and stuff like that. That's something that was always in the back of my head, but you get sidetracked by, okay, well, business isn't doing how it was doing. What needs to change? So I've been burdened and bogged in for the last couple of months of making tweaks and developing the site and just certain aspects. I think for me, like, I'm 36 now. I don't want to be flat out forever. I'll always work, I'll always do something. But I think we just now is the foundations of setting my life up, my kids' life up, my mates, my family, having all that. That's where my aim is, more so.
Magic. Really, really good. So before we started filming, right? Because I don't want it to be all. I want it to be an element of here. But we were talking about one of your friends, and you were going to tell me a story, and I stopped you, and it was ignorant of me, but it was also a reason why I stopped you, because I wanted to tell me on here.
I'll not mention his name, but I can't remember. So we were saying about Shane. Obviously, we were going to go to Oasis, and I was talking about a mate of mine who Shane's going to meet, and you know his dad. And we didn't know this until the night that we went for the Chinese with Big John. So my mate, who will know if he's watching this, I'll not name him in case it gets him in trouble with work, or actually he's working on something quite big, so he needs to keep his reputation clean. But I'll just tell the story that we were going to tell about it so you can hear it. Because I'd said, I was talking about friends that I have that I can rely on, and sort of friend that you would ring at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm that friend for him that we'd all went out for food. I'll not mention the place because they'd made a prize guy burger, right? Now, they're amazing all the time. But this particular night, this was a Friday night, we'd went for the burgers, and my mate in question, he'd ordered these hallucinogenics off the internet, but they were like 2CB, whatever that is, and something else mixed. And these things were highly recommended, but also recommended they avoid at all costs. So that night that I'd went home after the burger, I said, fuck, I don't feel well. I actually felt like shite. So I'd fallen asleep, and I woke up. You know that film when your stomach's bloated as fuck? I didn't know whether I was going to shite myself or be sick. I'd done both twice.
Right. In the bed.
No, well, luckily I made it. So I have this thing. I know when this is coming.
Yes.
So I had to make myself be sick because it needed to
Yes,
get this
you need to get the
fucking
feeling away.
unholy feeling out of me. So I sat in there, fucking hugging my toilet for about 20 minutes. I said, fuck, I'm going back to bed. 12:30, 1 o'clock. My phone's ringing. Person in question. Not answering that. Because I knew he was away taking these things. And I was like, fuck, he only rings me if there's a problem at this time, if he really needs me. Otherwise, he'll message. And I phoned him. I need you to come and pick me up. He was in Cumber, which is probably about 30 minutes from where I lived at the time. This is fucking early, like late night. And I was like, what's wrong? He's like, I'm going to go to hospital. His cousin who took him with him, was in A&E. Right? He had taken himself to A&E because he was convinced he was dying. Like he said, so the fella he was with, fuck, I love this. The fella was convinced he was dead, and he was standing out of the room with watching people mourning his death. You know what I mean?
So he was watching
He
it.
was watching it. So then he was on this really bad trip, and my mate was watching him have this bad trip, so put him onto a bad trip too. So I had to go and pick him up. Fuck's sake. I had to go, it doesn't matter, and that's his full name. I had to go and pick him up. And I was driving my Audi, or the RSQ8, and this huge big roof in it. And where we picked him up, he said that I'd picked him up. And the minute he got into my car, it was like an apocalypse on the outside of the car, you know, like the world was ending, right? He said he was in this real dark place, and he thought when we were driving, he was in a spaceship, and the world around him was falling apart, like flames, buildings on fire, meteors hitting. And I dropped him, mate. He barely said a word the whole time. He was just, looked awful. So then I dropped him off. I dropped him off at his brother's house, and I rang him the next day. His brother was living with his missus. His brother and he was dropping him off his brother and his missus. He says he had to sleep beside his brother.
Hugging him?
Yeah. But after being violently ill, but I was like, the sickness probably came from the burger that we'd had, because I was sick as fuck too.
So that on top of the stuff that he took.
Oh, mate, I'm telling you, like, you've only experienced him at that dinner. I don't know if you've been around him again, but you need to get a night out with him, because he's the fucking best. He really is.
You could tell he was a bit of crack. Because
Oh,
straight
yes.
away, because I was like, I don't hold back. I slag everyone, Big John included.
Oh,
like
right.
I'm just that type of person. But he was just a bit of crack. And what was funny about it was, Big John had ordered for everybody.
Yeah.
So for anybody that didn't know, like the Chinese we went out to at night, Big John just orders food. So I was sort of coming in, and I was like, I don't know what's happening. Came in, I was late anyway. But Big John had just ordered all this food, and it was just coming.
Yeah.
It was just coming.
Non-stop.
And I was sort of just sitting there going, I don't know what I can lift and what I can't lift, because I don't know who's ordered what. And thing was sitting beside me, and he's like, no, fucking just stay away, fucking get it on your plate, get it on your plate. And I was like,
I ran.
I know, I was going, Rad. And he was going, no, just fucking throw it on your plate, don't fucking eat it, or he's going to eat it. And then I looked across, and it was your mate. And he was just falling. Then I just remembered looking at him, and his eyes were glazed over, and here's me. He's in a coma now with the much food that he's had. Because he was sort of like, fuck, I may eat this before. And he was just eating everything. And I was just laughing him. He would be a bit crack. And then it turned out that my dad and his dad were mates.
That's the maddest thing.
And I was going, and
Makes
the
sense.
mad thing about it is, like, I got a phone call from my man. She's like, your dad didn't come home. And I was like, what? Your daddy didn't come home? And I'm like, what the fuck? And I rang him, and he was like, he was in. And it's mad, 'cause my dad's West Belfast, and obviously his dad lived over in East Belfast. But which my dad's always had friends in fucking all the communities. But it was one of them ones where I rang my dad, and he's like, you're never gonna believe it. We were in the town, and this fight broke out, and then I was covered in blood, and such says, you come back to my house, I'll get your wife, you can't go home like that. And I was like, that made it worse. You've made it worse, you know. So he listened to him, and I said, he put him on, so he put his mate on, and I'm like, is there something fucking wrong with you? You put somebody in a taxi and send them fucking home with me. My man thinks he's fucking dead, you know. And he's like, I just thought I would save, and here's me, no. But
Was that his dad?
that was his dad.
Of course.
So his dad must be.
His dad, mate, I was with his dad all week. It was the other son's kid's birthday party, and I brought my daughter to it. And the dad was there. I could sit chatting to him for fucking hours.
He's funny, like.
Mate. He's brilliant. Again, somebody with a bit of life experience, you know. Dodgy bastard, but he's fucking brilliant.
But that's people like that. I mean, what people don't understand is when you come from working class estates and whatever. Like, I tell stories about the things my mates and me. I don't even tell half of it.
No.
You know, like Shane, that's how it came about with me. Like, Shane says to me, can you tell stuff on the podcast that you tell us in the green room that you don't do on stage? Because I went, genuinely, people don't live these lives. They don't know unless they're from an area.
Yeah.
They don't experience that.
Yeah.
Do you know, like you talking about him, that's one story.
Yeah.
I know there's worse stories than you aren't telling.
Yeah.
But you get what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
it's because there's people go, there's no, like, the one thing I get, there's no way that was like that. Do you know?
Aye, yeah, 100%.
And it was genuinely, like, even.
I'm telling you, exactly.
I had people on radio shows saying that to me, and I'm going, what do you mean?
I'm not
You're.
just making it up, like.
I says, where you come from? That's where I come from. That's not even the worst stuff. Do you know what I mean? But people like that are just. I love it because it's the chaos of it all and the knowing, and that there's people out there actually like that.
Oh, aye, because there's going to be other people with fucking madder stories than you or me.
Of course,
That's
of
it.
course.
But yeah,
Big
telling
time.
them stories where people are like, there's no way that fucking happened. They're the best ones, I think.
They are.
Yeah,
But
man.
Paul, thank you very much.
100%, mate.
And
Loved
listen,
it.
thank you for the support over the past year.
Of course, man.
We're very, very thankful, and you've always been very good to us. And just thank you for coming on. It's been a podcast I've wanted to do for a while now.
Yeah.
And it's just good to get you on.
Loved it. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much,
Yeah,
mate.
we'll
Yes.
get on
So,
again.
everybody, if you don't know, that praise guy, that's a mayor. Get on his website, get yourselves involved, and have a good time.
When you go